Hi guys, we are here with Anthony Lolli and with TereZa Hakobyan-Lolli. All right, I'm gonna read a quick little bio, which is, I shortened it, but you guys can find out so much about them, and they're, oh my gosh, they are a powerhouse duo. I'm impressed. They are the powerhouse duo behind the Biohack Yourself Media, the world's fastest growing independent health and wellness platform, reaching millions with expert-driven, science-backed content. Y'all gotta check it out. Anthony, a real estate mogul and author of The Heart of the Deal, I wanna hear about that, went from 315 pounds to six-pack abs, documenting his 125-pound transformation in the viral documentary Fat Lolli to Six Pack Lolli. Wow. TereZa, oh yeah, an Armenian-born actress and editor-in-chief turned postpartum hormonal collapse into a wellness comeback, winning 2 bikini world titles, dang, and co-producing films like the Super Lollis, Skin Deep.
Yeah.
I want to know more about Skin Deep. And SHEALED. Is that, did I say it correctly? SHEALED?
Yes.
Okay. And that too. You guys, I'm like, man, this is like
12 documentaries.
12 documentaries.
We together produced, directed, and even had roles. We gave ourselves some roles in those documentaries.
Amazing.
Because it was actually based on our own stories.
That's
So we love telling stories about the journeys that we go through.
That's
we're
amazing.
very, very passionate people about anything, right? Anything that's going to better our lives, we are head in, like we're all in. So we end up discovering from top people, hidden secrets from insiders that people don't have access to these things, you know? So we document, we distribute across the globe on streaming platforms like Amazon Prime, Roku.
Oh wow, big deal stuff.
Big deal stuff. So people across the globe can actually get access to what we've just learned.
That's amazing. Sharing is caring. And together you've launched Lolli Brands Entertainment, produced over a dozen acclaimed health documentaries, and you guys raised 2 beautiful prodigies, love and legend, already making waves in health reporting and real estate investing. They invested before the age of 10 in real estate. I had goosebumps when I read the Bible. In 2024, their influence reached new heights when Biohack Yourself Media was chosen as the exclusive health press at my man, Robert Kennedy Jr., at his Make America Healthy Again Inaugural Ball. I wish I was there. They're not just content creators, they're transformation storytellers, performance marketers, and mission-driven media entrepreneurs. Before you tell me about Armenia, so let's pronounce Kardashian correctly. Is it Kardashian? And please tell me it is, because otherwise I just made a fool of myself.
Kardashian, that's right.
Kardashian! Why do they say
That's
it?
a great accent.
Yes! I'm like, why do they Kardashian? Why? It's a California.
Sing a songy here. Look, English is a beautiful language. And so I don't mind if people call me TereZa Hakobyan. I'm like, it's really TereZa Hakobyan. But it's up to you, you know, it's dry.
But that's sweet of you. I correct people all the time.
So how do you say your last name?
It's Magee, but the maiden Roibu. Roibu, yeah. And also I grew up in Italy, so when people say bruschetta, I get like, my hair is like, bruschetta. And then my face just turns upside down, like, nope. Every time in America, they always gotta put like bruschetta or like some. Oh. So the Hakobyan.
That's right.
Yes. I want to know about Armenia, if you don't mind, Anthony. I'm gonna start with yes. Tell me, like, growing up there and any type
Boy,
of.
oh boy.
Where do you start?
I mean, look, I feel like every Armenian has this legit connection to our earth over there, right? Our ground, our soil, and he knows that, like, almost. And I feel like maybe Romanians are the same way. Like, somehow our culture is so deep and so strong that no matter what has happened in that country and how hard it was growing up, you're going to remember it the best way. And you're going to say, my childhood was
true,
beautiful.
though.
But let me actually enlighten you. When I was growing up, the Soviet Union had just collapsed. And so in 1991, I was just about 4 years old. And we lost electricity. There was no heat during the winters. Forget about air conditioning, obviously.
Probably to this day.
Yeah. And I mean, so for 4 years straight, 4 to 5 years straight, until we really gained our independence and the president kind of changed and it was better. I don't even remember the politics because we didn't have television to even follow any of that. So we were just living our lives very disconnected and very much like sleeping in our coats during the winters that were very long, very harsh. Food, all I remember is eating silotka. I don't know if you know what that is.
Why do I know?
Fried
Yes.
fish.
Oh, guys.
We just went to a Russian market the other day and I saw it and I was like,
Do you still like it after all these
I
years?
don't remember the taste of it. So I said, can I have a try? They said, can I have a taste? They looked at me like weird. No, like this is not the cheese you can cut and try. So I just ended up buying a whole thing and I absolutely disliked it.
Yes,
My taste changed. But I grew up on that and then macaroni and French fries, literally. So yeah, growing up was hard, but I only remember the beautiful family memories.
That's nice.
Very calm. And my mom today visiting my sister with my niece or visiting me with my kids, she's like, this is a whole different breed of kids. Like these kids are wired. They're wired. So we move and shift our kids' wiring towards productivity. But even that, my mom, an old school Armenian mom, views as stressful, views as like, you guys still used to nap until you were like 9. You would go to school, you would come home and you would nap for an hour. Then you would be so productive and calm. Our nervous systems were regulated. No wonder, because right now at 38, my aging pace is 0.78. So per every year I'm aging, I'm only aging 78%.
Ooh.
I know we're competing on that. Like right now we're biohacking and then every year we're like, let's see, what's your aging pace? We've made this into a game and that
That's
keeps us
awesome.
very entertained. But yeah, so, you know, like even to the fact that we would walk to school for, 20 minutes without a mom and a dad. So much independence, very safe. You always felt safe living and growing up. I never even believed that people can do you wrong. So there's so many amazing qualities that I gained from growing up in Armenia. The wholesomeness, even the positioning of a man and a woman in a marriage, and it's something that a former playboy, I said, a former playboy.
Look at that over.
So that was one of the qualities that he was like shocked about. He's like, wow, you respect me as
You're a
hierarchy
traditional wife.
and a man, and that's something we don't see these days. And even with my daughter, she's so exposed to everything. I'm trying to give her all these old school things, and also she sees our relationship and our views, but it's so hard to instill that in kids. So that's another amazing quality that I had gained, which gave me the ability to create this safe home, this beautiful relationship in our home where we're able to raise happy and intelligent, emotionally intelligent children who are very self-sufficient. I mean, look, anybody and everybody should go to Armenia for a year, and not in the city, but to the outskirts, and really just experience this kind of peace, tranquility. Much has changed right now. There's a lot of modernization going on, a lot of globalization going on, and I hear from my friends it's not the old Armenia like before.
Really?
Yeah, but there's still some serenity you can find in different parts, more like the rural parts. And all we did is honestly play with each other, go to sports. I mean, at 9 years old, I was a 3rd place ping pong champion. And my volleyball team won 2nd place national. I was a competitive swimmer. I was a competitive ballroom dancer.
You've always had that.
Yeah, and I was on stages playing piano. I would always get selected. I was the lead in the choir. So there was so much time. Time was almost endless. There was no arms.
No social media, that's why.
Nothing was sucking our lives dry. It was just us wanting to explore and gamify everything. At least that was my view.
That's
Many
amazing.
people may have a different view, but I loved growing up there.
That's actually like really interesting that you're also like, so you're a musician but also into sports. So those are like two things that usually you don't get both.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, to have both of those worlds, that's pretty impressive.
Brain development.
Yeah.
It helped me a lot to be somebody who can think that I'm unlimited at any point in my life, who can think that I don't know that, but I can learn it and I can master it. And he knows that, We've been working together, and he's an entrepreneur over and over and over. I mean, building mega companies, exiting them, and massively successful, self-made millionaire. And then here I am, like Armenian-born, and I have a degree, and I'm an accountant, and I'm an actor, and I'm a this. But
speak all these languages too.
Yeah, and I speak languages. But starting to work with him and learning everything that he does, which is basically his arts. He's like Liberace when it comes to business. And so I've been able to learn, expand, and just be quick on my feet to become an expert at whatever he throws my way. And that comes from my peaceful childhood, full of arts and sports and love and community. There's just much confidence that comes with it. Like, I'm capable of doing anything that comes my way. Yeah.
And that is amazing. What about your childhood, Anthony?
In my childhood, my father was an Italian, man, World War II veteran, public school teacher. He graduated from Juilliard. My mother was an immigrant from Ecuador who came here with $20 in her pocket, lived in an abandoned building, worked in a sweatshop, became a home attendant,
I thought she had $40.
Oh, $40, but $20 she had to give to get stamped, the visa stamp, so she had $20 left. So that was, who raised me, both of them, and it was very humble beginnings. And my dad retired from being a public school teacher with a small pension of $400 a month. So he had to hustle and do street entertainer. He would have a blue and gold macaw on his shoulder, put it on your shoulder while you were at a restaurant in Little Italy, take a picture with the Polaroid and charge you $3. So that's how he hustled.
Entrepreneur.
And he was an entrepreneur, and I was his little side.
5-year-old entrepreneur on the streets of New York.
Streets of New York. So that was a lot of love. I was the only child. I have a half brother from my mother's side, but he didn't live with us until many years later, and he only lived with us for a month, and then he went off on his own. He became a millionaire too. He was very successful, all because of my mother's upbringing, and my father also
Immigrant
played a role
hunger.
in that. Immigrant hunger, and so it was a very, very happy childhood, loving childhood. So it was fun. We grew up in Brooklyn Heights, which at the time wasn't the Brooklyn Heights it is today, but it still had some well-to-do people. We lived in a rent-controlled apartment, so our rent was $150 a month, wherein there were multi-million-dollar mansions around us. So I was very lucky that my dad was resourceful, putting me in a good environment, but we weren't paying the same kind of money.
That's
Smart
pretty
either.
amazing. Wow. One thing I omitted was, I didn't add in your bio, was the fact that you are really big on philanthropy and you support over 50 causes. What is the one cause that you're really big on, and why? Like, what is the one that you think is like your most?
Well, I think, we support a lot of things. Early on in our careers, we supported autism, a lot of autism-based causes. Back in the time when there was a lot of confusion as to what's going on, okay, this is happening, how can we help people, create societies, create real estate, how can we create environments that are safe for autistic children, supermarkets. So those were the kind of ventures that we were doing. There's real estate communities now that help autistic families, similar to blind communities. Now there's communities for that. So we played a hand in a lot of those things. just the gamut, supporting soldiers, avoiding soldier suicide, a lot of PTSD.
Oh, nice.
Things like that.
I think the one that really struck a chord with you was the prisoners.
Prisoners,
Because not many people believe in them and giving them second chances.
Yeah.
And his father also did something.
Yeah, my dad was a
Really?
public school teacher, and then he even taught the high school diploma, equivalency diploma in prisons. They called it the GED. So what he would do above and beyond his duties to help you get your diploma is teach you how to tie a tie, how to do a job interview. So they would come visit our home after they got out of prison, and they would be so anxious to show off. I bought a car, I got married, I have a job.
It's like an accountability.
Yeah. So
People that needed that second chance for one person to believe in them. So he actually donated a lot to them.
I wrote a book called The Heart of the Deal,
Yeah.
How to Negotiate Like a Real Estate Mogul. I donated it to all the prison libraries.
What?
And then I didn't know I had that much of a fan base because I actually talked about my dad. Some of them even recognized my dad in the book. So it was very nice to get
Even your suit,
like
custom suits, we would just
I gave away.
buy the bunch. We would give
I
away
was
to
a
them.
part of 100 suits for 100 men. It's a program. Basically, you give your suits to prisoners because when they get out of jail, they can't afford a suit to get a job interview. So I would donate all my suits. And since I was a fat person going up and down in weight, I had my medium suits, my large suits. So I had all sorts of sizes to give away.
lot
And then
to
when
give
I
away.
lost all the weight, I gave away a lot of suits. And we still donate and give them away.
That
You don't
purge when
think
he
about
lost
these
his
things.
weight.
You want them to get a job. You want them to do better. But they need to be able to dress the part.
It's amazing, you guys. I never thought about that cause. That's really,
Right? 'Cause
really
it's,
cool.
It's usually the normal causes that everyone supports.
Yeah.
But you're like, okay, everybody is supporting that. Like, they're okay.
Yeah.
Who's not being supported?
Yeah.
And I think, with his dad being so kind, he saw that. He saw their struggle. And a lot of them will come out and then they go back in.
Oh, because they
Because they
lose
They can't make it, unfortunately. So if there's hope, there's some sort of education, there's an accountability partner, it's a higher chance of them making it again.
And I heard that a lot of homeless people in New York, they commit crime just so they can stay warm in the winter, so they can go to jail.
I think a lot has to do with...
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot has to do with drugs. A lot has to do with psychological, mental disorder. We now know ties back to food, back to medicine, is back to brain injuries, microplastic, air, environmental toxins. So a lot of these things, you just never know what the root cause is, but a lot of it is just good people that were poisoned in one way or another.
I couldn't agree more. And do you want to get into more serious questions? In 60 seconds, and who do we start? Let's start with Anthony. What is the secret to longevity?
The secret to longevity is testing and not guessing. Really understanding what your biomarkers are and getting the right type of tests. If you don't know what you're trying to longevity for, then you're shooting in the dark. So test and don't guess.
And which test should I do? Is there a DNA test I should
Well,
try?
so there's a few of them, right? There's 10x DNA test.
Okay.
There is DNA Life. And
I heard about this one. It's good?
They're very good. I mean, they're all doing similar things. One has 99 genes, one has 130 genes. But you know what? For somebody who's never done anything like that, start somewhere.
Right.
Whichever company you resonate with.
They're all
somewhere.
good, by the way.
Diagnostics, they do 130 genes and SNPs, they call it. So they'll test your genetics. They'll understand what your expressions are, what you're methylating, what you're not methylating, what you're missing, basically, from your body to operate in the fullest way.
X also does that, and they give you the kind of supplements and vitamins.
So you just take in a pouch, right? You don't have to
based on your genetic makeup.
Yeah, they all do that. These three companies is what we've come across. We like them. They're in our documentaries. They're in our magazines. We support them fully because they're definitely one of the major gateways for anybody to start their longevity journey.
That's so a friend of mine who has cancer, unfortunately, she's very big because she beat the cancer once with, she went through chemo and all that. She said never again. Wow. Now she's doing it holistically and she's like, this is it. And she told me, I wish I had taken, she told me which test, I can remember the name, but it's like, if I would have taken this test, I would have avoided all that because I'd have known. There's a test that actually tells you if you're prone to getting any kind of cancer.
Yes. Full body Pronuvo.
Pronuvo that's the one.
Yeah, Kardashian is there all the time. I mean, there are a lot of celebrities go.
We've done it ourselves.
And you actually like, oh, you could be,
It's very intelligent software. Yeah. It really lets you know if you're predisposed, if you have a predisposition to something. So it lets you know warning signs, so you could really just jump in advance.
If you need a connection to a naturopathic oncologist, I've got an amazing one.
Yeah. That would be nice for her to say.
It's called naturopathic oncology.
Yeah, there's specialties in this field too. If you want to go the natural route, there's people that we look at it like, because we have our own peer review, and the people that we work with were highly vetted, highly recommended, with a lot of repetitions. What I mean by that is they've worked with a lot of clients over decades, and a lot of times this industry is a lot of pain to purpose stories. But there's people that may have cured themselves in one way, and they want to help other people, but they don't have enough repetitions of helping people. So you might be quickly to go with someone that just doesn't have the volume, and so you might not get the results you want. So you really want to be able to go with someone, especially if something as serious as that.
Yeah, cancer, which is, that is.
That's not a death sentence, by the way. So there's so many.
By the way, cancer is being linked to parasites.
That's what oh my gosh, tell me.
Consistently. So when you said, what test should I take, right? There's tests like crazy, and I've done probably every single test out there, because when our son was born, Legend, he had some health issues that the modern medicine first was like, now he's going to grow out of it. It's jaundice. What's jaundice? The yellowing of the skin. Like, okay, maybe there's something wrong with his liver. Nope, he's going to grow out. There was an eczema for at 2 months old. Now he's going to grow out of it. But it was concerning. So then later on, I dug even deeper. We went to so many doctors in the Western medicine and in the functional medicine world, and we chose the functional medicine world. And through homeopathic and herbal supplements, we were able to detox him. It was mold toxicity in him.
Mold?
When you say test, yes, mold. We had mold in the HVAC system because we didn't have the UV zapper. Like, who knew, right? So I've gone through all the testing you could think about, right? When it comes to, let's say, parasites, right? GI maps was one of my favorites. There's like all kinds of CSA is another parasite cleansing. But what I understood with the parasite testing, you have parasites. No matter when you test, no matter how you test, no matter what test you use, you have parasites. Let me just tell you right now. Yeah. And they're living in your body, they're having a party, and they're not paying rent. So make it a habit every 6 months, do a massive parasite cleanse. We used to do this in Armenia, by the way.
Really?
I grew up as a biohacker. Like, if you can think of what the biohackers are doing, that was normal life for me growing up. My mom would give us, pumpkin seeds with honey. Like, almost weekly, every weekend I was on that. She would make us fast.
We still do that.
So like all of these ancient techniques, holistic way of getting rid of parasites was there. And I think in India, they're like big on parasite cleansing. They do this culturally. It's like a normal thing. We don't do it in America because we love our parasites.
We love our parasites.
We eat salads in restaurants. We eat sushi. We eat even like cooked salmon has parasites. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of the times this testing can really drive you insane. And then you're just like, which one do I believe? This one says this. By the time you know, you're $10,000 in just on testing. So that I say you can pause and you could just go for a really amazing comprehensive parasite cleanse, like a 21-day cleanse. Like we love going with Dr. Martin Bales, who has Bales Photonics, and he has this machine called Firefly. It's got these 7 light zapper, which he does from the front and the back, and he combines it with a 21-day protocol that's got 4 supplements only, but you alternate them. Every day you drink this one with this one, and then the next day you're taking this 15 minutes before this. So there's a lot of tricking that's happening. And then, parasites always want to survive. They're on survival mode all the time. So
resilient.
Before dying, they offspring about 20 eggs into your body. So you go to the zapper about 4 times through the 21 days and you zap the eggs. Yeah, like when we were doing our zapping, you could hear.
You can hear them zapping.
So he's like zapping.
Are you serious?
Literally, like, oh, that was a long one.
Whoa, that's creepy.
Yeah.
And is it painful? Is it something
No,
that?
not painful. But you just have to treat this like a science. You ask the 60-second question, what's the secret to longevity? Treat it as a job. That's 2-second answer. Treat it as a job. If you treat it as a job, because you treat your job seriously, how many hours do you spend on your job?
Too many.
Exactly. If you spend like 10% of that on really, really taking integrity of your health and really saying, okay, I'm going to try this out. I don't know everything. And it's okay. Be humble. Like, we don't know anything either. If you really think about it, the more we learn, the more we think we don't know. But we're trying, we're implementing, we're testing, and then we're integrating the ones that actually work. Next thing you know, you're at 10 stacks that are actually working. On your longevity.
By the way, when we do it, it's testing on me, a male, testing on her, testing on our son, testing on our daughter, testing on her mother who's 60-something, my mother who's 87.
Yeah.
So we get to be able to see everyone's results. So we have our own beta testing in ourselves.
And everybody's so cool with it.
All the demographics.
So we have some must-have tools.
And we test on our dog, and he doesn't. There's no placebo in that.
That's
Pet biohacking is.
That is a thing, yeah.
I mean, this is a vet, Dr. Marlene Siegel. She's actually an amazing contributor to our magazine, our print magazine, as well as.
Let's show them.
Yes,
Wait, you guys have a camera too?
And that's Dr.
Oh, okay, I like him. Sure. Oh, okay. So I'm really big on like the quality. This is very nice quality. Out
and feel like they're already upgrading just by holding the magazine.
First of all, you don't need blue light blocking glasses. There's no EMF or Wi-Fi. This is your first biohack. Disconnect.
Back to Armenia.
And just chill out. None of these words are going to change. There's no information that's going to be re-uploaded like online. This is real people, top of their field, that have contributed. The companies that we feature there, we use ourselves. We vetted ourselves. We have a whole big peer review faculty that have reviewed all these companies. They came personally referred.
I mean, this is going to be a collector's item.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing is changing there.
It's all rooted in science. It's all rooted in studies.
I'm a fan.
She's already shooting telescope.
I'm a fan because I'm I used to own a magazine company, and I'm really, really big on quality. Like, I'm so it was Trend Prevent magazine. So it was a humanitarian and also all the sustainable, also cruelty-free, everything. Yeah. And I was really big on fonts and color and layout, and not just, it has to have the whole package. When you put it all together, it's so much work. You want to do it right, and this is done.
Thank you.
Okay, love it. And I don't give compliments on magazines very easily, so yeah, because this is very good.
Thank you.
Amazing, you guys.
Well, those are for you. Keep those.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're one of the first people to touch the Gary Brecka because it's not.
That one's out on shelf. The Gary Brecka comes out on the July 1st. But we were doing a big round table with Aries. Because Gary Brecka was at the round table. This was yesterday in Vegas. We're really into how to mitigate the environment without getting too complicated.
Yeah.
There's EMFs already. So we work with this company called Aries. They have this devices, like a necklace or a little card that you put on the table, and it harmonizes all the EMFs that are happening around you from your cell phone, from all of these lights, from the cameras, from the Wi-Fi.
That's another thing. Like you have parasites and you're being bombarded by EMF. Like stop testing and stop being confused. It's happening. So just mitigate.
Even our mics.
But that's why I put it right here.
Amazing.
Because this is close to the heart. So there's like the top athletes. I mean, who are we sitting?
Chandler.
Michael
He
Chandler.
said this gives me an inch competitive advantage.
Yeah.
When I'm mitigating my stress response, my heart rate variability from all the bombardment that's happening.
Put some of those on my phone. People were calling me crazy, and that was back in 2016.
Well, there's a lot of fake ones.
Okay.
See, that's the thing. There's a lot of ones that just pretend to be that, and then they're just the company.
I don't think
Aries
because
is
my
trying
signal was going down on my phone, so I felt like that thing was working.
Listen, it depends because, they are signal disrupting, but the right ones, they're meant to harmonize and kind of like block and then mitigate and lower the impact.
Yeah.
What happens, you asked about 60 seconds about anti-aging secrets, right?
Yes.
It's inflammaging is what's happening. Your body gets inflamed from many different things. The food you eat, the water you drink, the microplastics, the air you breathe, the mold. That's in your body's like inflamed. That's speeding up the aging.
So
The more you
inflammation.
can slow that down. The real biohacking is unhacking the things that are hacking your body.
Yeah.
And what is this biohacking for people? Like, let's see if we can put that in like layman's words. How exactly?
That's exactly what.
Yeah, the layman's terms.
Biohacking is basically, yes, understanding that the environment is harming us, our food is harming us, our water could be harming us if it's not being filtered. So just understanding and taking steps to avoid the harms and use some of the technology that's really impressive today, like PEMF mat or red light and all these things, hydrogen therapy, all of these can help you enhance your cellular power. We are what we eat, but we also are where we live. And then I can even add, we are what our cells are, right? Because our cells really determine our future and our longevity. I mean, cells are the ones that turn into cancer. It's all about the cells. So I always say my cells are my babies. Because until I literally tried to see them as my babies, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was taking care of my babies. But the moment I look at them as my cute little babies, I'm like, oh, I gotta take care of my little cells. Let me give
the
them
motherly instinct.
Yes, you become motherly or fatherly, right? You give anything for our kids. But would you give anything to your little babies, your little cells? So I think, that was a big understanding for me because moms, especially women, are so selfless. So selfless, right? They're always last. That's why by the time they're 40, they have all kinds of autoimmune conditions. They get to Alzheimer's. I mean, like 80% of women are suffering with some sort of an inflammation or autoimmune condition. And we discovered that during filming our SHEALED documentary, which stands for She Healed. We cast 77 of amazing experts that focus on female longevity, thyroid, hormones, hormone replacement therapy, how these women on hormone replacement therapy are kicking butt. And there's no brain fog in their lives, right? Weightlifting, they've got muscle, they've got bone density, they've got everything when they do the right thing. So we're bringing all of that to women because 80% is too high to ignore. And then, a lot of the biohackers, the women biohackers say, we're not small men, we're women. So all the biohacking expertise is so focused on men, right? So women actually have to now carve out certain techniques of how to do their own longevity stuff.
And it's awesome that you already answered like 2 of my questions. This is perfect already. But I wanted to know about that documentary because I was like, this is actually, I was watching little clips and I'm like, man, I need to watch the whole thing. I ran out of time because I had to come to the studio. But I'm like, dang, it's so informative. Yeah.
The people we got a chance to sit down with, the people that actually we chose.
Like well-known people too.
And we're
Very
working with
vetted.
them. Like, that's the main thing. We talk to them every day. They're sending us their protocols. We're going to their offices.
Yeah.
We're helping them grow their businesses with marketing. We have an ongoing relationship. It didn't stop at the documentary. It still goes on. So they're making great efforts to really help us and all the people we refer to them, and the results are happening.
The Lolli group, right? Is it Lolli?
Lolli Brands.
Lolli. Why do I say Lolli? Like anyway, Lolli. So that has the magazine, has the marketing.
Yeah. So Lolli Brands Entertainment is our production company. So we do all of our documentary films under Lolli Brands. So that produces the films, that distributes the films. And then we've had so many documentaries about health and wellness. The one that we decided to kind of place anchor in was Biohack Yourself.
Okay.
And that's
separate.
Everything in terms
Biohack
of
Yourself
media, the news. We have 17 journalists now. Our journalists are going to all the longevity conferences, interviewing the speakers, interviewing the vendors. We have a performance marketing agency now.
So Biohack Yourself Media has Biohack Yourself Performance Marketing,
the magazine.
Biohack Yourself Events Coverage, Biohack Yourself Journalism and news coverage. And it also has Biohack Yourself Affiliate Marketing. It has
magazine.
Governmental relationships, that if pharmacists are dealing with issues and they need to go lobby, well, they come to us because we've got the back door into anyone that they need to connect with.
We understand
FDA
what's
approval.
going on.
So,
Those are important things that people need to navigate under this new administration. The rules have changed a lot since Bobby Kennedy became
Thank God.
the Health Service Director and Secretary, and now people are not informed on purpose from the old administration, or maybe just the changing of the
traditional ways of
guard.
doing things.
And people need to know what to do now in order to get things going under this environment. A lot of people were shadow banned. A lot of people were
Trust me, I
turned
know.
off on the process.
My accounts.
Yeah.
I had to start from zero twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they during the COVID, because I was too opinionated.
outspoken.
I was very
your
outspoken. They
Instagram.
banned that. Yeah. I was one of those.
You should go to Layla Setner's podcast. She has a podcast called Erased.
She's in our
And-
documentary.
Yeah.
She's, first of all, she's the definition of a pain-to-purpose story. She also had mold toxicity, which basically she started biohacking, and then she's like, man, I can help other people. She created a big facility called Setner Wellness in Miami, one of the largest. They have another one in Coral Gables. Then she wanted to figure out how to keep her kids safe from mold and bad water and Wi-Fi and EMFs. She couldn't find the school, so she started one with her husband. A middle school, junior high school,
the best
every
school.
school. And then she's like, these school lunches suck. Like, so she started her own farm.
That's
Like,
amazing.
it's amazing.
I like her already.
So what happened to her is she's a big star in the documentary, and we go to Setner Wellness all the time, get these treatments there. During the pandemic, she was very outspoken about everything. And different things. She didn't like the shedding. She's very strict. Anyway, point is, she got erased. And the name of her podcast is Erased. She has some of the biggest stars.
My people.
People.
Political side, on many different reasons why they got erased. Doctors, very influential people that are now coming out and saying, here's what happened to me. And so it's a very good podcast.
I'm going to check it out.
She's one that can definitely
Okay,
get the
Ray.
story out there.
Yeah, that sounds like right up my alley. It's funny because my husband's always like, I just can't move on, huh? I'm like, it's not about that. I just feel like we haven't resolved this. People still need that closure. Like, what's his face still at Fauci? Why is he not in jail? Like, there are way too many things we still need to conclude here for me to.
There were pardons, and I think Mark Zuckerberg said it best when he was on Joe Rogan. He talked about his position in terms of what he suffered under certain pressures that he got. He's still a father. He's still a husband. There's people dying and getting hung in prison by themselves. I mean, he's not a dumb guy. He's like, And then at the same time, when you look at it, he's following orders from people that were reputable, news anchors, doctors that were still in power during many different presidential administrations, right? These people were not fired during many different Republican and Democrat presidential. So this same person that was good enough under this presidency is saying, hey, stop, don't allow this. Otherwise, you're killing people by not allowing people to do this. So that pressure, plus the fact that, maybe you'll, trip and fall and die. I think that, the guy's just like, You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, and you notice a big shift. And I think it's also commercial too, business. They just follow the rules. Big companies are like, okay, what are the rules I need to play? Okay, this is the rules. All right. They want to be business. They want to stay in business too. So there's lawfare. There's a lot of things that go on in that world that you and I and none of us will really know. But at the end of the day, people are human and not prone to not be assassinated. Put it that way.
True, but you're a better person than me because I think that fucker he knew what was going on.
I'll be honest with you.
I don't follow any of
Yeah,
that.
it's hard to really, pin that on anybody when you're
There's
looking.
always going to be politics. There's
I mean,
always
look,
gonna be
put it this way.
arguments.
You go to a doctor's office right now. That doctor will convince you. And I remember when we're having kids, you got to do a C-section. The baby's choking on the umbilical cord. You understand? And now this person, you're sitting there, there's a nurse practitioner, there's an assistant, all these people went to school for all these years. Everyone in the room is saying, what are you doing? You're not thinking straight. You better do this. Now take that kind of stuff, add more admirals, this person, that person, this person in a room. It's telling you, hey, you're hurting people. Here's this doctor, that doctor. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't cooperate, you're going to be accused of hurting people even further. I mean, look, that's just my personal opinion. But I have to look at it from...
We always believe in people's goodness.
I see that. Oh my gosh, I'm inspired. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They also
Because
have
my little tiny souls are like this. They hear Fauci, they're like,
always look at somebody. They were born to be good, right? Born to be good inside. And I love Becky Kennedy. Like Becky Kennedy has that born good inside. And I believe in that. It's just that things happen in their lives that take them to a different place.
Yeah.
Could be childhood trauma, could be the sleep training for all we know, right? I'm very against the sleep training techniques that people do, like cry it out, leave them in the bedroom to cry it out. That gives such an emotional trauma for the child. So I feel like, you got to look at the person undressed, right? Behind all the facades, there's still that little kid. And if you just kill them with kindness or believe in their goodness, that will come out. He calls me Mother TereZa. He's like, stop, Mother TereZa.
why? I want to know more about that. Why Mother TereZa?
Well, my name is TereZa, and I just always kill with kindness. Like my
You have that
principle
heart.
is believe the good in people. Always see the good and hone into that. They can do 10 bad things, but if they did one good thing, you focus on that, they blossom.
Oh my
They
gosh.
blossom in your presence. And then you get the benefit of having a bunch of blossom people around you because you feed off of everyone that's around you, right? Your environment. We're talking about EMF, light, air quality. What about the people around you? That is your environment. So that's another biohacking hack. Technically. So if you believe in their goodness, they're going to give you their best that they can. So you're actually upgrading your own environment by believing in people's goodness. If you're a selfish person, at least do that for your own benefit.
And also, you feel better when you think positive about others. It's a different feeling. Now, whenever I heard you talk about that, before I had a different, in my stomach, but hearing you that, it just felt different.
The analogy I use, right? Let's say you're driving down the road and somebody almost cuts you off and you almost get into an accident. Now you're rushing and you're finding, what the hell's wrong with this person? You go and then you catch up with them and their daughter's choking and they're rushing to the hospital. You don't know what the person's circumstances are.
There's this book called Bucket Filling book, like learning about bucket filling. And that's like our home Bible for the kids. And every age we read that and the kids get something else. That everybody, even the pets, right? From the day you're born, you have a bucket, an invisible bucket. You have a dipper and a lid. Even if you're the kindest person, you have a dipper. And so what it is the bucket is your happiness. There's all these jewels that people fill your bucket, and then you also fill your bucket too, right? You do pleasant things for yourself, you fill your bucket, now your bucket is full, you're happier. And then other people treat you nice and do nice things to you, your bucket is full. There's a dipper. You can either dip others or you can even dip yourself. Right? And then there's the lid. So like my kids love this book because it just gives you such perspective about life, about bullies. And it always says like, if you dip others, you're dipping you too. Because when you're doing something mean to someone else, you are 100% not happy with yourself. You know you did something wrong.
And then you're going to have the guilt of doing something bad as well on top
and
of...
the opposite is right about good doing. When you're doing good, when you're believing in the good, you're feeling yourself with the good too. It's bucket filling for yourself, bucket filling for others.
Would you say that this is part of biohacking?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Mindset,
Yeah.
happiness,
Positivity, kindness. I love that. And do you, I know you have and I'm going to get the negative out of the way while we're still on the, still slightly there, but I want to get that. You're talking about, you're working on 2 upcoming documentaries, Dentistry and Forever Faithful, FUR, Ever Faithful. So let's talk about, because I have some conspiracy theories regarding dentistry.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
That's all coming out now.
Aha, is that what
Like
it's focusing on?
Red light and cold plunge are now an everyday thing, and people know about it. Biological dentistry is the new hot start that's going to be a hit thing on the radio. So we've discovered through our own journeys that
You have to.
dentistry is just such an old way of doing dentistry. I mean, so many people's
Root
lives
canal?
have gotten ruined, absolutely ruined. Alzheimer's, dementia, I mean, liver failures, kidney failures, all connected to what tooth do you have a root canal in, or where do you have a cavitation in. Cavitations happen from simple extractions. You can extract your tooth, but if you're not ozonating that opening before you close it, there's going to be germs, and then they start manifesting.
You can get
Building
parasites in there
bacteria.
too.
Let me ask you something. If you cut your finger, would you put mercury on the wound and then, if you had to amputate your finger, would you sew the bone back on and leave
Or the skin, right?
the
You take the
skin?
bone and then you just
Leave
put the
this dead skin?
That's a root canal. Like you take the root out and you leave a dead tooth in there. And it's funny because they say we're the only medical doctors that are leaving a dead piece of body part in your mouth. And so that also manifests into parasites and bacteria, and that could go to your heart. That could go
And
to
the thing about it is, it's not everyone that this happens to. Like there's people that could smoke until the age of 90 and don't get lung cancer. These things exist. But if you live in a blue zone, you don't have stress, you don't have environmental toxins, maybe you could survive something like that. But for a normal person that is living in today's society with everything, the more you put these weaknesses, the more you're susceptible to that stroke, to that cancer, to this, to that, to brain fog, to dementia. So in theory, they are correct. It's not going to kill you if you do that, but it's not just that.
It could lead.
Yeah.
That's the thing. All of these techniques of root canals and amalgams and metal titanium implants, those were also a certain timing of things. Oh, we're going to do it this way. And I think that was just like 50 years ago. And you're now seeing the effects of that.
They should know better by now.
It's somebody
'cause
also
they
that
see it
needs
now.
to
They
be
see the damage.
an outside thinker, right? Because when people subscribe to the religion of whatever medical school they went to, whatever teachers and books that they really respect, there's a lot
big
of
pharma.
respect. There's a lot of respect. There's a lot of credibility. And by the way, there's a lot of transformation, healing stories. They've been properly indoctrinated. It's very difficult to change someone's medical religion into something else, and then that completely erases their whole identity, right? You would have to admit that maybe the 50,000 patients you worked on, you might have hurt them in some way mentally. That's a lot for someone. So mentally, a doctor really doesn't want to believe. They want to believe everything that was rooted in fact under those circumstances. You can kind of sympathize why. However, there are certain people that are like, you know what? They have to meet another colleague that's in like, hey, they have to have these, and that's what we're noticing in the industry. Even level conversation. They have to be open. Like we work with all sorts of dentists, right? And the biological ones and the non-biological ones. The non-biological ones are interested, at least. I don't know if it's because of who we are. They respect it coming from us, but they're open. They're like, I heard about something like that, and someone mentioned it. Like it's making its ways. So we decided to do a documentary. I'm getting a bunch of procedures done. We already started filming. We're going to Costa Rica
actually on Monday.
3 days to film in 3 days, and then TereZa's getting work done. My mother's getting work done. Her mother's getting work done.
Both of our moms combined had every single wrongdoing done to them. So the undoing
in the States?
No, my mom in Armenia, and I guess your mom in Ecuador.
In States,
the States both. So yeah, I mean the world was
It's a universal
operating on
problem.
this
That's the thing. We do experiential documentaries. We just don't we put ourselves in the thing, and then we meet these people. We're under anesthesia. Like, I'm getting cut open. She doesn't do it, but I'm the one.
The pain.
I'm the one doing it. The cameras are in my mouth. My mother, her mother. Like, this is our life. So when we're in it, we're in it.
And we're just taking our audiences through the ride. We've collected so many audiences. I mean, from Fat Lolli to Six Pack Lolli, just captivated the obese community, the weight loss community, and a lot of moms too. Captivated millions of views for that documentary. The Super Lollis, we honed into the competition world, the fitness competition world. So we went and competed in every single federation just because we wanted to understand, what are you about? Like, what's different about you? So we actually, and not only we competed in the different federations, but inside each of the federation, we competed in like 5 different divisions to even understand what's the difference between that. So combined, we were counting, we're like, oh my gosh, 35 times we stepped on stage to compete in a division. I became a 2-time bikini pro because we became like, that was nothing for us. I was dancing, like back to like my roots, you know. Transitioned from a transformation model to a fitness pro. A muscle model pro. He got his pro card. So that was very enlightening. We collected that entire audience, fitness fanatics, couples, fit couples, you know, coaches, personal coaches, nutritionists, all of those are watching our continuous journeys. Then we hit the loose skin surgery and the tummy tuck community, because a lot of people were requesting, like, so how was that loose skin surgery? We showed his loose skin surgery. That was only 10 seconds in our first documentary, but there was a lot of questions. And so his surgeon and Alex Poro, who's a transformation icon, lost 300 pounds, good friend. We paired them up and we filmed the entire process in the documentary called Skin Deep. 16 awards won.
So we got the 3 now. Okay.
And then the 4th one was, since we were already a big deal in the bodybuilding community, and that was like the top from this, you know, from this kind of escalation, I would say, we did a very star-studded bodybuilding documentary to hear all of their inputs, but we tied in a very interesting person's lifestyle and life journey, which is George Farah. So he's been a coach to many pro athletes, even superstars like The Rock, and he's touched so many people. So all of these superstars, the top of the top, Dexter Jackson, Kai Green, you know, Bob Ciccarello, Jim Manion.
The owner of Olympia.
Yeah, the biggest names in the bodybuilding world came to tell George's story. But in the meantime, we also heard from them, like, how are you sustaining this lifestyle? What are you doing?
George had cancer and he beat it through nutrition.
Yeah.
Wow.
We won 20 awards for this documentary. Released it at the AMC Theater in St. Petersburg. It was amazing. And then we came to the biohacking world, which is a kind of a natural transition, because at that moment I was going through my hormonal collapse, because competing so many times for a woman, and I was nursing my son throughout my competition, did it naturally. So a lot of depletion, a lot of, you know, fat was being burned.
She was losing her hair.
I went into early menopause.
Gosh. Are you serious?
For 6 months, I was into menopause. I managed to reverse it.
Oh my gosh.
After, you know, battling obesity for 40 years and then doing a gastric sleeve surgery because he wanted to choose the easy way route. But that didn't work. He lost 50 pounds, gained 70. So it was actually through nutrition and bodybuilding and weightlifting, he was able to transform in 9 months. But then, you know, he did the loose skin surgery, so there was lymphatic issues happening.
And then there was also a lot of, I used to drink a lot before when I was obese. There was a lot of chemical damage besides alcohol, which we now, the FDA said is links to cancer, but the food. I was definitely eating poisonous foods that affected my brain. So we started working with Dr. Daniel Amen and other brain specialists and doing brain optimization, brain biohacking, which literally just lit up 100 light bulbs in my head. The processing speed, like it was like the movie Limitless, and just really started expanding, you know, everything.
Oh my gosh. And it's amazing how you're in my head, because I was going to ask you to walk me through all the documentaries and give me a little glimpse. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you...
Documentaries, so I figured
I was like, oh my gosh, I love it.
You know, the transition of what it's been
and
like
how
lives in the last 7 years, lives of discovery. nothing short of inspiring to us, because we also touch so many inspiring people in those little buckets. And we're like, oh my gosh, you need to be in this world and you need to be in this world. So our mission has been to literally combine all of these worlds together. Like, why is the biohacking world operating completely separate from biological dentistry world? They have their own conferences, they have their own expos, they have their own superstars, and they're unknown in the biohacking world. No, guys, you guys need to coexist. So let's go into that. Fitness, even fitness people, they put themselves through so much, and they're the most disciplined, incredible people, but they're just not given the right tools. They're doing everything wrong. I mean, we did that too. You know, a lot of, just like overload on protein.
You have to drink a gallon of water.
Plastic.
But
and then they're chugging plastic water.
Or
so
non-structured water.
It's damaging.
Yeah.
So they need to also be in the biohacking world. And now we're merging the world of fashion, because we just went and covered the Miami Fashion Week.
Oh,
we were asking all
okay.
these models and all this hot, Miss Ecuador and Miss this one. We're like, what's your longevity? And she's like, yeah, by the way, I'm battling Hashimoto's. And so I learned to do this, this, and this. And that's how I'm still a model and I'm Miss Ecuador. And people don't know this, and the fashion world doesn't know about the biohacking world like that.
Nope.
Either. Then we're going into the pickleball world now. We're going to cover pickleball. And, we're now at the UFC and we're talking to Michael Chandler. He's a diehard biohacker. Right?
Amazing.
So these worlds.
So you're infiltrating all these different demographics.
And if we combine enough worlds together, the world becomes so big that you cannot not recognize it. Every average person can have the opportunity to hear the noise.
I think a lot of these people behind the scenes, like we're working with a major hyperbaric chamber company, magazine.
HPO.
They have all the certifications that you need to be legit. There's a lot of hyperbaric chamber companies. But this is like the top of the field. And Joe DeTuri, who's in our Biohack Yourself documentary, he lived underwater for 100 days.
Dang.
Yeah, he's
anti-age in the submarine.
Love and respect this guy. He has an article written about it. He recommended this company. He's like, this is the company that I personally use. This is a company that I and I believe in their science and what they're doing above and beyond anyone else. So we're very proud to work with all these companies. So, that company is now going into all the longevity clinics that we also feature and have relationships with. So there's a lot of cross-pollination. That company was mainly...
We become like a record label. We match.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, connectors. And these chambers, do you feel like everybody should try, or is that like, do you feel like some people may not be
I think you can rent your biohack experience. With all these longevity centers, they have day passes, they have monthly things. So try it out. Yeah. Dave Asprey has one, Upgrade Labs. It's a franchise. There's serotonin centers. The owners, founders, a friend of mine. Biohack Lab. There's so many.
Gym membership, you can get a wellness center membership and start your journey somewhere and then see what works.
I can't wait to read them.
And places and what you...
What is your favorite article?
Sure will.
If you follow us on social, we have journalists that go in and actually go into these wellness centers and do stories about them.
Biohack Yourself Media is, and I wanted to show this to you, is now getting 41 million views monthly. People come to us for basically as the go-to source. So this is the Biohack Yourself Media, right? I'm going to show you the dashboard. We are the go-to source now of not only vetted companies and products that we vet. So we've done the work for you. You can just come in and trust which algae tab are they promoting. Oh, is it Energy Bits? Okay, I'll just get that because they've done the vetting. So not only for that, but also for all the expos. We educate our people. Here's the expos. You want your biohacking journey to begin? Go get into an expo. Your world will open up to like 10% from 0 to 10, right?
If you follow us, you'll get the latest
Look at
expo.
this. In the last 30 days.
Well, 41, 553. Let's not, and then some. Correction. Because 500.
And so we also announced, hey, like we're going to be at the Hack Your Health conference, which is a big one in Tampa. There, it's like, a food and beverage or a wine conference where you could try the wine. This is the same thing. You could try this. You could try red light. You could try the supplement. You get to go, you meet the founders, touch the product, and for your entrance fee, you're there and you get to listen to, speakers. And if you want to learn about these people before you go to the event, you go to Biohack.
Like, you can play with the dolls. You can actually
Hell
have dinner with the dolls, and so it's exactly that.
This is actually. I love
See the
that.
effects, but you're gonna at least talk to at least the founder or the co-founder or somebody knowledgeable to understand the efficacy of the product, and really you start resonating whatever your energy goes, and you start your journey no matter what. Even the people listening to this, they don't even know, but they just started their journey. So the awareness, I think, right, has been number one.
It's number one. No, awareness, longevity, biohacking, you know, just start. Start somewhere. Just go to a conference, read our magazine, or just go on the Instagram, get the free information, get curious.
But this conference that I need to go to is in Tampa?
Yeah.
Because I want to go to it. Okay.
Yeah.
When is it?
Hack Your Health.
Hack Your
Go
Health.
to hackyourhealth.com.
in November.
November.
We'll get you tickets, no problem. You
I
can
would
come with
love
us.
to check it out.
It's amazing. And by the way, the founder of the conference, she's the
Robin.
original, Robin, she created KetoCon. So the keto diet, when it was all the rage and all the keto. So she was one of the biggest, and now keto is transformed into biohacking and longevity. So now she's focusing more on other things separate and aside from the keto aspect of it. Still remnants of that at this, but this is Hack Your Health.
You guys have the most. I'm like, so I'm trying to contain myself because I have so many questions and I'm like so excited.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, shoot.
Right?
I'm like,
That's why we
it's
did the
so
documentaries.
amazing. The documentaries, and we still have the pet documentary we haven't discussed.
Yes. The Guru, we started filming Biohack Yourself.
Yeah.
Because we were already biohacking for my son, for our daughter had a massive lymph node that came out on her neck. It was lymphatic cloggage. So obviously the regular doctors wanted to chop it, cut it, biopsy it. We didn't do that. And then a lot of the functional medicine doctors were like, yeah, you know, do this detox. We did that for 6 months. It wasn't working. So a lot of things weren't working until we found the solution. So we had started filming because we wanted to find a solution for our daughter. We wanted to get his lymphatics moving because of the surgery. There's a lot of scar tissue happening, my hormones. And it turned into a 5-part documentary to basically 114 of some of the most notable people in our documentary. Then after that, we cast and we filmed SHEALED, which was 77 experts. So like all together in this longevity
200
world, almost 200 people that we've interviewed. And now we have contributors that are joining our platform on daily basis, scientists that are writing journals. They're like, yeah, I want to publish my work with you. You know, when is your next magazine? Well, next magazine has Lara Trump on the cover. And I have 2 contributor spots. Like, you know, what are you going to contribute about? What's the efficacy? Have you been published? Like, let's check you out. And then, so our network is growing immensely. We've worked with 350 brands at this point. We do performance marketing for half of them because they're like, wow,
nice.
you guys have the eyeballs. You guys have the, what's the word? The lookalike audience and the avatar and whatever. That's marketing terms. I'm not into that. I'm into connecting everybody. But they love it because it's not like a regular, let's say, marketing company that has all kinds of different clients. One is, let's say, a light company. One is, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you know, our people, our clients are all in the biohacking world. So that's what they're getting.
And the people that are curious about solutions and they want to go to a trusted place.
Yeah.
Because once you learn about biohacking, then the snake oil comes. Then you start getting fed, not just by just the algorithms start feeding you everything. You know, Meta right now, if you even say anything next to your phone, it's feeding you information, right?
Yeah.
Ads. So the fact of the matter is that we do Meta advertising specifically for our brands, but our brands want Biohack Yourself to really disseminate and talk about the brand and onboard the customers and the clients and the curious people because they nurture them the right way.
Yeah.
And do you feel like maybe this is probably a paranoid question, but because you guys are getting so influential, do you get a little bit like paranoid that the big pharma people could be after you?
Well, no, the anti-pharma, to be honest, that we're very open. There's a time and a place. And I said this before, but I'll say it again before the podcast. If someone gets shot, you know, it's not a time for vegetables and homeopath. Like you need to be able to bring in pharmaceutical remedies. And so there's nothing about that. In fact, we work with compound pharmacies that work with peptides.
And by the way, he was a big time believer in modern medicine.
Yeah.
He thought I'm some crazy Armenian lady. You know, so the combination of the two of us has really kind of enlightened us to meet in the middle and respect both areas. Yeah, so, sometimes a functional medicine doctor can fail you too. Sometimes a modern medicine doctor can fail you too. But then this modern medicine doctor can save your life, and so can this functional medicine doctor. So what we're doing, right, and this is why I don't think anybody's after us, because we're just a family. We're the everyday person that's really just seeking answers and seeking solutions. And we're excited to bring our experiences to our audience.
Yeah.
Love it.
We're not judging them. We're not judging them. And we're not saying don't do this. And we're not recommending, right?
Yeah.
We're saying this is
what
what
works for us.
Yeah.
We publish all the latest studies, by the way. Our Biohack Yourself Media, you'll find every reputable journal that we publish studies on. However, in the body of the post, it says, do your own due diligence on the journal.
Yeah.
Do your own due diligence on the person that wrote the study and who's backing them. Because there are some studies that were funded and pushed by certain people. So it's up to you, but you should know this study exists. Right? And
Yeah.
so you do what you want with that
We're all
information.
about
We're not saying this is good. We're not saying this is bad. We're just saying this is what's been published. Do with it as you wish.
It's like, would Big Pharma go after a naturopathic school or a functional medicine university? No, because they're saying, hey, there's this education too. And then you, as the student, you
Yeah.
choose, do I go this route or do I go that route?
Right.
Yeah.
And freedom of speech too.
And I think the freedom of just doing business too. But you have to just do it the right way.
Right.
When you look at the pharmaceutical industry in general, it's Albert Einstein says, learn the rules of the game and play better than anybody else. There was nobody playing outside the rules. Those were the rules. Whether the outcome was not what we wanted, certain people got hurt, whatever the situation was. There was a time that the rules were you don't need to wear a seatbelt in the car. Those were the rules. A lot of people got hurt and died from car accidents. If you go back and you YouTube, the first time people were complaining about the new law where people wanted to wear seatbelts, they were against it. They were like, wow, this is my right. I don't want to, and now we understand that, hey, this is for your safety and accidents happen. But you can't blame the car companies. They were playing by the rules back then. Those were the rules. So when you know better, you can do better, right? And sometimes you need time, like Teflon, right? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did good at suing. This information may or may not have been known, but the fact of the matter is now that it's known and there's also consequences and repercussions, then you can operate like a normal business with consequences. So I think that's just we're just witnessing things that are being time tested.
We're witnessing a real wellness revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's really happening. And there's been many other revolutions. This is just the health revolution. And information is coming from all angles, and people are going to make their own choices.
True.
But at least they're informed. So continuing on the SHEALED documentary, we are now filming the biological dentistry documentary. And then after that, we're not going to forget our lovely pets. So we're going to do Forever Faithful.
The pursuit of
With the
pet
title, like,
longevity,
it's
fur
so
and
cute.
purr, like a cat.
Yeah.
So
We don't want to forget them. They get bombarded with the dirty electricity and the Wi-Fi's, and they're walking, and that's not even their choice.
and pesticides in the grass. What if I asked you to go barefoot and walk on your hands on pesticides?
And then
Yes.
eat the grass sometimes. Like my dog likes to.
Sniffing the grass.
grass.
What if I told you after they was sprayed to go smell the grass and inhale it
Yeah.
in your lungs?
And obviously the food is crazy.
I feel like
Research done
the food companies are in it with the pharmaceutical companies, because the pancreatitis in dogs, that just increases by the minute.
Think again.
really crazy.
Those were the rules.
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has now rewrote the rules. We're taking certain things not allowed to be on the shelves. And all the companies are like, okay, just this is the way I got to play. All right, this is how I'm going to do it. The thing about business is, there's certain things that are very expensive to manufacture to do the right thing. And there are things that you can do to supplement. By the time a big governmental agency catches on, right? Sleight of hand and all this kind of stuff. And then this person is working in government, as you know, they're there for a year, 2 years. They moved on. They're not really concerned about that one particular task that they were doing. They're a government employee. So there's so much turnover. This one left, this one retired, this one got married. So no one's really watching this stuff. Then a new administration, new rules, new red tape, and corporations are like, hey, look, all right, so no more real milk. Now we're going to do it with powder. No more this. We're going to do this dye. No more that. Now, tell me, if you tell me it won't do it, I will do it. But until then, you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it comes down to the leaders. And now we're so excited about RFK because he's his heart and his information through all these years is in the right place. At least that's what we're understanding, right? From the actions that he's been taking. So it really, a lot of it does come from leadership and governmental level. And then everybody just follows suit.
And business incentives. I think with Donald Trump being a business person, that's also, there are incentives to do the right thing. And there are channels now allowing you to do the right thing. And I think that the marriage between the two was the perfect cocktail for big disruption, but not interruption of commerce. And I think that was the issue with, you know, getting cheaper because you have to go overseas to manufacture and you have to deal with this and that political and currency manipulation. All these things play a hand, you know, employment and minimum wages, all these things play a hand in your ability to make a profit and, you know, adhere to your shareholders. And then you have pressure, and then sometimes people under pressure, their morality goes out. There's a lot of different things that happen.
Yeah, and sometimes we just look at the big picture, but we're still zoomed in mentally. But at the same time, I feel like still we have some major questions. Rabies, for example, rabies vaccine for an indoor cat. What the hell? Why is that mandatory? And why do I need to chip an animal mandatory?
I think you want to look at what the reasoning was behind its first institution, right? There were certain reasons, and things over time get morphed. Again, changing of hands. Okay. And then it's like, okay, something happened. There was a reason behind it. There was someone that lobbied for that law. So when you go back in time, and then you could see what the rationale was at that time, maybe, and or maybe there wasn't, you know, some influential person had their daughter got rabies from a cat that bit her. They were so hurt, the daughter died. They were influential. They lobbied for it. Nobody else was like, oh, this sounds like a cause. I'll vote for it.
Yeah.
Right? The woman's crying, my daughter's dead, everybody's sympathetic, and everybody votes it in. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, 30 years later, what do you do? My kid's sick. Like, so you don't know.
And now we're killing
why. You can't really say. And then, by the way, throughout the 30 years, hey, this is a good business. Let me open up a rabies shot. Like, these are things that happen.
It's a good business.
So what I'm saying is that the intention was probably pure. Like many things, like religion and all these things that happen. Like when you think if you believe in religion or not, like when you look at
Christian Orthodox,
he walks around, he's like, what do you guys do? You guys are selling religion here. He's throwing tables and this and that. Something that originally started as pure turned into commerce, right? So why are we surprised that in our generation, something that started as pure, let me, you know, give this particular shot or antidote to stop this from happening to other people? Right? Now business comes in, the charlatans and the profiteers come in and they do that.
Same thing can happen in the biohacking world, and it's happening. And that's why we find what we do gratifying, because we're allowing our audience to just go by tested, vetted, peer-reviewed products and scientists and doctors.
We meet the founders. We want to know why you're doing this. What is your background? A lot of these people have kids, they have families, they've been hurt, so we trust it.
I love that. You're not just however much you're paying me, I'm going to put you in my magazine, or you have the...
We say no. Look at that. One drink company came to us. It's like, you know, I got ketones or whatever, or oh, it's what was it, collagen, this and that. And then I look at the ingredients. There's maltodextrin in there. I was like,
I don't know what that is, but I believe you.
It's like a white harmful powder, right?
Okay.
My kids know it. There was a family joke about it because at like 3 and 5, they were child actors and they would be on set, and I've like put so much knowledge in them. At that age, they would go to the crafty table, and it was all just junk snacks almost always. And they would look it up. Does this have maltodextrin? Such a cute way. So that became like a household joke. But they were aware of like seed oil, soybean oils, or you know, preservatives and citric acids and stuff like that. So you know, we say quite a bit of no's to our magazine advertisers, to our cast, like our documentary cast.
Well, I'm so inspired, like, for you guys to do all these documentaries, change the world, you know, this whole industry, such an impactful, like, you guys are doing a lot. But then have these kids that I'm like, wait, what? Tell me about how do you educate them? Like, what?
I think we lead by example. Yeah. I think, first of all, they're homeschooled, so they're with us. Like, you know.
They weren't always homeschooled.
Right, sure.
We tried 5 different schools, 6 months in each school.
Okay.
You're from Romania, right? So when you come here and they say, oh, this is a blue ribbon, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, our philosophy is this and that. You're like, yes, I believe you. And then, yes, I believe you too. Well, yeah, you sound great. And then you're a mom in that school. All of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute. You're like, lazy, you're not teaching them this, or you're not doing this. So we actually became student and parent and family in each of these schools, a private, a public, an Orthodox, a Montessori. And, you know, and then we tried the homeschooling and it really worked for us. We have some tutors that come in and teach them what they need to learn. We've skipped a grade now officially.
How?
Grade.
Why? How? Why is that?
So you can actually do your homeschooling on a flexible schedule, and so they do 2-hour learning at home, only 2 hours, and they do each subject once a week. So we'll just go heavy duty language arts, let's say, on Mondays, and then we don't do that until next Monday. And so they really retain the information. It really like settles math, social studies.
And there's also
science.
no other students asking the teacher questions
To distract.
And then, you know, because in a teacher's only gonna, your kid is only as smart as the dumbest kid in the class. The class cannot move on until that slow person is catching up. It's the teacher's responsibility to shepherd everyone.
But then also the extra curriculum was really my issue, right? Because I grew up with such well-rounded schedule. I don't know how I managed it. I think because there was no distractions. Today, if I was, because actually I also walked to everything. My mom didn't have to shepherd me around. Everything, like my ping pong class was like, a block away. My volleyball was like next door. Here now, if I send my kids to a school, I can only choose maybe two sports or 2 extracurricular activities, and we have to Uber them. Like we're the Uber drivers, right? So now the tutors come to our house. We've got, you know, private pickleball coming in, a private chess tutor, a private debate coach. So now the 8 hours that they would spend in school learning what they're learning in 2 hours, the rest of the 8 hours, they're spending learning all these other things where their minds are expanding and they're going to launch a business. They're learning entrepreneurship.
They do jujitsu.
Yeah, they do a lot.
Muay Thai.
We've gotten them into swimming.
Wow.
They're in a swim team now. They made it into the team,
Oh,
which
wow.
is great for you. So, but we study these things, like what is amazing for brain development. Pickleball, tennis, and ping pong are
Tennis? Really?
number one for brain development. Actually, ping pong is number one. But then
Ping pong.
pickleball and tennis are like the cousins. So they're also great for your brain development. With any
it?
age,
Any
right?
age,
Any
even
age.
older.
Your brain is developing.
Should I have a ping pong table? I'll start playing tonight.
And for what? It's so important. From 0 to 1, you're developing up to 50% of your brain. From 1 to 2, you're at 70%. 2 to 3, you're at 80%. Like literally, by the time you're 8, that's when you shape your brain. So yes, do pickleball, do tennis, do ping pong. We learned, you know, unfortunately for our son, to not do soccer because
Really?
soccer is actually the number 1 worst sport for your brain because
The
hits.
ball is coming at you over 100 miles
Not
an
even
hour.
football.
Not even a
football.
helmet.
Yeah.
It's going straight to your...
Because your brain is sitting there and then it just bangs on your skull.
Sì, quasi sì. Mia sorella, my sister. Hell
Soccer is
no.
so fun. Our son was crying for like a month
He
straight.
does play soccer, but he just doesn't do the head.
Yeah, he'll play with his friends, so we never went professional with it. Right. And then swimming is obviously amazing, right? Anything musical. Oh yeah, our kids do drums and vocals as well. Because that also,
Dang,
if
I
they
didn't
never
know
become
that.
a renowned singer or a drummer, that is developing their brain, shaping their creativity, and again, giving them this potential of like, there's nothing I can't do. And so that needs to be shaped in the first 10 years, right? And so when they're stuck at school for, 8-10 hours, at what time are you shaping them? No, they're shaping on TikTok dances and this one has a crush and that one has a crush. The moment I started hearing this at 2nd grade, I was like, okay, we're done. We got what we could from school and building community and understanding the friendships and all of that. Like our kids can go into any community and befriend everybody.
Oh, that's
They've
nice. So they're
gone
not
into-
socially awkward.
They've gone into so
They have
many
more
new
friends.
schools.
Remember,
Yeah.
a school kid has his school friends, maybe one extracurricular activity. Our friends, they have
Our kids.
our kids, our kids
Friends.
have a whole homeschool community of other kids that are like if it's 9 a.m, you're like, hey, you're a homeschool kid, I'm a homeschool kid too. Like, and now all of the extracurricular activities, because homeschooling, in particular in Florida, is a big deal. A lot of homeschool. Everything's open at 9, 10, 11, 12. So everything that used to be open after 3 is open in the morning. So they have their hockey friends, they're jiu-jitsu friends, they're acting class
And by the
friends,
way,
they're swimming
those friendships last longer because you're not just stuck in a class with these specific group of parents and kids. You're actually choosing an interest. So you're going into a like-minded environment. So I think those
deep,
friendships
meaningful friendships,
deeper.
and they have fun. They can't really relate to traditionally schooled kids.
But to give you a few tips, like you're saying, how did you raise these kids to buy their property at the age of 6, 8? Literally, they're a week apart. Their birthdays are April 4th and April 11th. And on April 24th last year, they closed on their first property with their money because they've been working for 6 years on acting and, you know, getting commercials and getting paid. Royalties, movies, Broadway, and all of this. So they had a lot of money sitting in their child's UTMA account. That's like the protected account. We're like, what if we buy a property inside that account? You can do it. So we did that. So how do you do that, right? A, please do not sleep train your kids. You know, a lot of people may be furious at me, but from my own experience, I've read so much. When you sleep train your child with a cry it out technique, that's the Falber. I don't respect that guy, so I don't go, you know, I don't even know his name. But when you put a child, by the time they're 9 months old, right, they still don't know that they're a separate human being from the mom. They think they're one. So at 4 months old, you're putting them in a crib to cry until they fall asleep. So they're developing all kinds of abandonment issues.
All the time. She would go to the movies, be like, oh, it's so wet. He must have cried a lot.
So what are your thoughts about that?
I think I'm with you on that.
And you're a product
I think you're
of
right.
sleep
I am.
And that's interesting. Thank you for being honest, right? So, I mean, look, nothing to any other moms because, again, that's a religion on its own.
Yeah.
Is a
They don't know
religion.
any better.
You're going to do cry it out. You believe in it. It's so hard. You're going to be behind the door and you're going to be crying. But you got to do that to teach your child independence because that's what the pediatrician said. And they believe the pediatrician, so nothing to blame. I've just done so much research and so read every single parenting book out there. I know to not do that. We still co-sleep with our kids and they're 7 and 9. So their emotional intelligence, their power to regulate emotionally and their understanding of life, their confidence and their like believing in kindness of people and really just going into areas and thinking they're safe and relationship with other adults is impactful. Like their hockey private teacher was texting me, I cannot believe how Legend interacts with adults. Like it's unreal. He's like a little man. She was saying this, it's in a text message. And so that gives you this confidence, right? Because you're so safe. 8 to 10 hours in the middle of the night, even though you're sleeping, your subconscious is still observing and understanding your environment, making memories, doing stuff, right? We still don't know sleep like that. But there's things that are happening. So if you're in an environment where you feel like you were left alone and you're unsafe and there could be dragons coming, it can't be good. That's
true.
number one. Number two is from day one, talk to the kid like a human, like a grown-up. That's what we've done. There was never baby talk. There was actually over-explaining. He would laugh at me often. He'd be like, what are you doing? You're explaining what oil you're putting on him? Remember? I would say,
Smart.
Legend, this is jojoba oil. I just Googled it. You know, Google is on the internet. And so he was 4 months old. I would literally explain everything that I'm doing to him. So today, they're so independent. They observe everything in life. Like, they were in an Uber today, right? Because we're in Vegas. They're there. So they were being Ubered with grandma. So my daughter calls me and she says in Armenian, you know, I don't think this was correct because the guy just stopped in a gas station to go use the bathroom. So we're just randomly sitting in a parking lot in an Uber. I don't think this is right, Mom. Can you call the guy and tell him to like take us home? I mean, that's like for kids to like observe and understand. Another thing our son did.
That's,
Just level of understanding and workarounds in life has been nuts. And they even now outsmart us. So it actually is us. We're like, oh my gosh, we got to optimize because these kids are outsharking us. So I put parental controls on my iPad, like literally deleted everything, factory settings, went in it, only downloaded, you know, approved apps, put parental controls. And I even took out the app. I mean, what is it?
The App Store.
The App Store. The app of the App Store. Took it out. There's a way you can go and not allow. And then you block it with a password. So if they figure it out and they go to allow it, they can't because they have to know the password. So my son has been absolutely furious that I took that control from him because they have massive control over their lives. When they don't want to do something or they want to do something, I always say, listen, you can do this or you can do this. If you do this, this is the outcome. If you do this, this is the outcome. So they always make their choices, right?
Nice.
We have yes days. On yes day, they stuff their faces with
Yes
sugar.
days?
Days.
Okay.
It's a day where you just have to say yes. There's a movie about it. We love the movie. Jennifer Garner is starring in it.
I gotta watch it now.
They were like, oh, today's yes day? Okay, we're starting breakfast, 3 scoops of ice cream, because I limit sugar, right? So it was like sugar festival, and by the time it was like 6 p.m., they're like vomiting. I was like, it's
Really?
yes day. This is what you want, right? Sure, right? We're gonna do it. So now they're like, yeah, that was too much sugar, you know. They talk like adults because you give them the power to understand, make their own decisions.
Learn.
So powerful. Going back to Legend's story, he's like, Mom, I want to, find out how did you even take out my app store?
Yeah.
I want to get my Hot Wheels because that's an innocent thing. It's just cars. I'm like, no, it's a game to pass your time and distract you from success. So we're not doing that, even if it's innocent. So this guy, we were having a play date, and the girl, they respect these other kids. And, the mom is like, oh yeah, I found this app. It's a home design app. It gives them such creativity. So they end up decorating their rooms beautifully. I was like, wow, I would totally download that app. So on the drive back, he's like, Mom, you see, you said this one is innocent and it adds creativity. Can you download it? This was his chance to find out, how am I going to bring back the app store, download the app, then delete the app? So the kid hits screen record, unbeknownst to me, gives me the iPad to give him the design app. So then he takes it back. He's looking, I don't even know. And then at the end, he's like, man, the password doesn't show. Because when you put the password, it's just the dots. I'm like, what password? He's like, you know how you downloaded the app? I was like, what do you mean? Oh, I was screen recording everything you just did.
Whoa.
7, dude. He's like, yeah, I'm a little hacker. I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, you just impressed the crap out of me. And they take their supplements religiously. They biohack. They won't do iPad without their blue blockers. Religious about it. I understand. They see a lot of their friends squinting their eyes doing this, right? Mm-hmm. So my daughter comes like, can I just tell him not to do iPad too much? It's hurting his eyes. I'm like, look, you can't really, because that's a slippery slope. We got in trouble at school a few times because she would go and tell the kid, you're eating fish crackers, you're going to get sick. Drop that now. And then the moms would text me like, can you stop your daughter from like judging the lunches that I pack?
Dang.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm doing you a favor, lady.
Actually. And there was
giving your kids bad food is a religion too.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because those parents subscribe to the fact that they also, like TereZa, believe in the human goodness. They're thinking, well, this company would not hurt my kid. The government's going to look out for my kid. Therefore,
or I ate this.
I turned out okay, so that's not a big deal. But you don't know if you turned out okay.
It's the same product with many more ingredients
and many more CEO changes.
They might not even the same,
exits and new people buying them.
Right. Because if we remember, so in Europe, Coca-Cola has a lot of it's completely different than the Coke here, and then it's different than the Coke 20 years ago.
People know this. So now he's actually RFK is changing the Coca-Cola ingredients here.
Thank God.
A lot of changes are happening. The revolution has started, and it really is going to take us as community, as humanity, to really want what's best for us and most importantly for our kids.
Yeah.
And to really stand up and make this noise louder and really help RFK to make the changes. Like, stop opposing him. Like, the guy wants to do good. He can care less. He's 70-something. He's got a six-pack. He can go live his life.
Oh, he looks good.
Doing this because he cares. So let's help him because he is on a governmental level and he can do so many incredible things. Like yesterday I had an idea. I'm like, what if the doctor is allowed to prescribe, let's say, an Aries tech, right? EMF mitigation. A cancer patient comes in, you say, okay, well, first we got to upgrade your environment. You got to mitigate the EMF that's constantly putting your nervous system on a stressful place. So I'm prescribing you an Aries tech. Like, how amazing would it be? Or I'm prescribing you a hydrogen therapy, right? Like 10 session of, hyperbaric oxygen tank. So if we have that, and the world of medicine and the modern medicine, the Western medicine, they all start integrating into this.
Yeah.
How much better?
Why can't they coexist?
That's what I'm saying.
And how much is one of those things?
I think like $230.
Not bad.
But
and how long does it last?
And there's no batteries, nothing lasts forever.
This is a wearable, technically, because it's actually, it has an action, like it's doing something.
Yeah, it's also a conversation piece.
Yeah, because people are like, what is that? Are you a mason in the masonry?
It's all geometry. It's all math, actually.
Yeah.
They designed it based on math. It was actually a Russian man who invented this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Technologies
Yeah.
from space.
Interesting.
NASA.
Very interesting. Yeah, and you said it's called Airy?
Aries.
Aries.
IRES.
Tech.
Well, no tech now. They're just Aries.com.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this episode more than once because I need to write down all these the parasites.
magazine, by the way.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that you have it. Yes.
What we did in the documentary, we have the QR codes of all the companies. So you're sitting there, you can
Instagram
QR
it.
code
Brilliant.
immediately.
Brilliant. I like that. And how did you guys meet?
Her and I. Short version was, I was in a cafe.
Okay.
She was in a cafe. We didn't know each other.
Starbucks, specifically.
She was at a table. I was at a table. I was having a business meeting because at the time I ran a very successful real estate brokerage franchise. And I was talking to a private equity group that wanted to buy a bunch of those franchises. So we were there with my executives and we were talking about royalties and distribution and all these kind of technical talk. She's over there interviewing because she had a pop rock band called
I
Velvet
was a
Tornado.
recording
She was a
artist.
recording artist getting ready to sign with Sony and all these other people.
Warner Brothers.
She thought we were record executives.
Yeah.
And so at the time, she was ready to shoot her music video for her latest album. And when we stood up, when we said goodbye in the meeting, she had already finished her meetings. And she went up and she goes, "Hey, are you guys in the music business?" And I reached over and I said, yes, we are.
Because you looked at her, you were like, hell yeah.
So the point is that I had been in the entertainment industry because I had funded a lot of movies and projects. I work with celebrities and helping them use my home for locations, my cars, helping them buy real estate, rent real estate. So I was familiar with that industry in general. So I was able to carry a conversation. She thought we were because we were talking about royalties and distribution.
Keep hearing royalty, and my head is like straight on music industry, right? That's all. But first we became friends. He actually was like, "You remind me a lot of me when I was younger." He's actually 10 years older than me, even though he's anti-aging to catch up.
I know, yeah. It's like the wine.
Exactly. He says, "I'm like a fine wine, baby." His tagline was, "Baby, you know how there's people that are 1 in a million and 1 in a lifetime?" Sold.
Sold. You
Yeah,
guys.
so first it was very respectful relationship, and this is why I always encourage friends who are in the dating scene, right? I'm like, become friends with someone first. You'll understand their values, you'll understand how they are with their mother, how they are with their father, who are their siblings, what is their relationship. You don't just go into a relationship without auditing this person, through and through.
Testing the heck out of him.
And I mean, one of our early on dates was at the doctor's office getting blood work. Like, I really wanted to know what I'm 315 pounds. He carried himself very well, like a
Wow.
He walked around like a lion king, so it didn't bother me. But I just assumed from the food that he's eating, he's not getting enough nutrients. So if I'm gonna continue dating, then I want to develop a relationship and get married and then have a family. But what happens if we have a family? We're gonna have kids. What if he's not, healthy or optimized? So let's start from the beginning. Let's, make sure that we're aligned in everything. And he was so cool. We did bone density scan. He freaking broke the machine because he had such thick bones. So
Wow.
everything was checking out for him, even though he was 315 pounds. And you would think he would have all kinds of fatty liver or, diabetes or whatever. He didn't have any of that. He's very lucky with his strong genetics. So it was all checking out. So we continued to build, and he loved that I take myself so seriously, that I take our future so seriously. When he asked me to stop the recording singer career for our family's sake and build a family with him, I stopped.
Dang.
Traditional woman, right? I was like, you know what? I honor you and I honor your guidance and your leadership, and the family that we're gonna build is going to be so much more gratifying than me being on stage and then backstage all alone, right? So there's a lot of things that, we really thought of this. Like, I don't want to say like business, and we always had that really excitement, love for each other, and until today, but it wasn't just
Architectural and planning.
that. You have to.
We really plan.
to be very smart. I was listening to an Instagram, right, that you have many marriages. Dating is a whole different marriage. Before kids is a whole different type of marriage. With kids, it's a whole different marriage. Teenage kids, it's a whole different marriage. And then after kids, a whole different marriage. You have to survive 5 different marriages with the same guy because you're changing constantly in these different environments.
And you had the marriage with 315. Then you had the hot one with
7 marriages.
It's like, wait, what?
Totally.
Wow, never a dull moment.
Exactly. Now we have to like pivot, understand, be flexible. And that admiration of each other, the friendship that we've built in the first 6 months of our dating relationship where we didn't date. Actually, we were friends. He was actually mentoring me. He became my mentor. He was teaching me everything about the music industry. He would connect me to Justin Bieber's songwriter. And then he'd be like, yeah, you got to do this. You got to think like this. You got to think like that. You got to stay away from this. You got to do this. He literally cared about my success only to say stop. I'm just kidding.
Only to say stop. I love that.
Wow.
Wow.
Hear something funny.
Yeah.
So on stage and
Call me J-Lo.
Are you there?
10 years
10
later.
years later, when I was her coach for our bodybuilding documentary, the Super Lollis, she's on stage and I'm like, show your glutes because you have to win to become a bikini pro to show your glutes. So
To the guy next to me, I was like, I built those glutes. My butt. The worst.
So it's very interesting.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I had a massive mom bod. I had a diastasis recti, which is a condition when you have a big baby or you have twins. Your abs, there's a tissue connecting your abs. It stretches
top
so
belly.
bad. Year after Legend was already a year old, I still look like I was 5 months pregnant. And I'm a former athlete. Like, that is so bad for me. I was changing my wardrobe. And I was wearing
Cellulite.
baggy clothes and stuff. And this guy, from 315, he managed to become a fitness model. So I'm like, holy crap.
Then it
so
was
the
Beauty and the
secret-
Beast. But I said, honey, nobody calls you Beast.
But you know what hit me hard was the realization that sports, yoga, athletics will not do it for me this time. I always just went and relied on yoga, sports, athletics. That's how I bounced back. That's how I always kept my shape. But watching him bodybuild from weightlift, heavy duty building muscle, and seeing the transformation. Wait a minute, maybe if I do that, I'll lose the weight and I'll maintain my figure and I can even heal this. And I healed my diastasis recti, which doctors were saying you need to put a mash, you need to do surgery, and I'm very anti like anything touching me, right? So that was amazing. Former obese person had to coach the former athletic champion to become a 2-time bikini champion.
But maybe because he was inspired by you first
He had a
to
lot of
start losing.
conversations at first.
The
He
initial.
was very happy with where he was. He's like, I got good genetics, my brain is intact, and I'm gonna think that I'm happy and that I'm healthy, and this is what's gonna be. And if I die, at least I'll die happy, and maybe mac and cheese in my mouth. So that was his whole thing. And it wasn't until we had our son who had his acid reflux issues, and so he would keep me up all night. And at night, I would be listening because he was very quiet, and I would be hearing him have massive sleep apnea that we were both unaware of. Because we would sleep together, wake up together. Who's listening in? So that was like, babe, like you do this at least 7 times at night. You stop breathing. That creeps me out. I'm over here delusional, sleepless, taking care of our son, and you stop breathing. Like, this is bad. Let's go check. So when we checked, indeed, he was developing sleep apnea and just a bunch of stuff. He was inspired by our kids because now we had these kids to motivate him, and he had a son that's going to look up to him. So that was...
Isn't it interesting how your son's problem was actually what helped you guys figured out, find out about the sleep apnea, how God knows best.
I always tell him, you are our gift. And I'm sorry that you had to suffer through the sleepless night.
But it saved you.
But look at and his own life. We actually discovered that he has genetic expressions that are less optimal if you take iron. So he has the MTHFR gene mutation. Gary Brecka talks about it often, and they call that the
gene?
or the abbreviation. There's many genetic expressions, but that one is responsible for detoxing your liver. Also, you don't methylate iron. And there's so many things right now. Bread, simple bread says fortified with iron. A cereal, kids cereal, fortified with iron. Why? Why? This is unmethylated, which means you're literally putting heavy metals in your body. And if you have this genetic mutation, that's not, well, not mutation. They said call it expression because we're not mutated.
Yeah, it's
for the rest of your life, drink methylated iron. And so my son is always on those, right? The vitamin Bs, and he thrives. And he knows. He's like, yeah, I feel stronger with this. So his downfall actually ended up building this entire Biohack Yourself Media that is going to be saving lives. So we always say thank you to you. And then further love to our daughter with her lymph node.
yes.
Yeah. So both of them were kind of catalysts.
That's amazing. And how would you describe your wife in 60 seconds for us?
No.
Beautiful, compassionate, sincere, heartfelt, loving, motherly, honest, integrity, intelligent, focused, ambitious, and family-oriented.
I've only met your wife for like 2 hours. That is so sweet. I've only met your wife for 2 hours, and I could tell her she's not a person you meet, she's an experience you live through. Because this one, my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I'm an experience.
Yes, it's like so much. There's so much to you. Both of you, beautiful couple. You know, every couple faces, challenges. How do you guys, for those people that are having rough times, a rough marriage, or they're going through some rough patch.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back?
I think what happens is this too shall pass. Live life for long enough. You recognize that there's just moments in times that are challenges. But you go back to the foundation of your relationship. And as long as, relationships are like bank accounts. If you have more good deposits than negative withdrawals, and then also those good deposits, they have to be interest-bearing deposits as well, because there's inflation. You have to make sure that you're depositing good things that are growing, fruitful things. And throughout our entire experience, there have been many, many fruitful deposits that we put into our relationship. So we have a large enough account that's growing to lean on.
I mean, a massive tip is that we always have projects we work on together. Even back when he was, just dedicated businessman, right? Entrepreneur, like he was out managing 100 locations, publishing a book. I was a mother dedicated to the kids and their acting careers, totally living separate, almost like, separate lives. But we had projects together, goal sheets together, dream boards together. And by the way, that actually aligned us so much that at the end, we actually ended up founding things together and actually working with each other, being each other's best friends. And 24/7 together, we find it exciting, right? We don't argue much. And if there's an argument, we just dig deep. Like, why are you saying this? Why are you saying that? And, let's really just understand, and we understand each other's love languages. So go read that book, The 5 Love Languages, and really try to please your spouse with their love language. Like, why not?
It's funny, we were just on a big podcast for couples called Date Your Wife.
Yeah.
It's Garrett and Natalie, Danielle White. And it's specifically for entrepreneurial couples.
Nice.
But in the hardships they go through. But the title of the podcast, Date Your Wife. You have to date your wife. Do what you did when you were dating.
Yeah.
And continue that momentum. And that's where you're going to really go back to the basics.
And another tip is so important. Keep checking each other's blood work and vitals, right? Most men complain that the woman becomes depressed after 40 or whatever, right? They change with the kids and whatever. The poor woman may have a thyroid issue or her hormones are so she may be estrogen dominant, which causes so much,
breast cancer and all these
stuff. Check her hormonal panel. It could just be that. Fix her up. She carries so much burden. And same thing for men, right? Men also, they're infested with plastic, which is a hormone disruptor. So much. Keep checking each other's vitals. Find an amazing functional medicine doctor. That could be your family doctor. Really upgrade your health, because if your cells are happy, if you're healthy, you're going to be in a positive mindset and you're going to want to live a happier life. And how else to live a happy life but to create that happiness around you? So it could start from that.
I love that. Full of bombs here, full of wisdom. That is so amazing. I want to ask you guys, I won't go too much because I know I've been keeping you hostage here for 2 hours. Would you rather questions? So I'm just going to ask, I have a bunch of them, but we'll go Anthony. Would you rather relive your hardest day of transformation or your hardest day in entrepreneurship for the rest of your life if you could live one of those 2 days?
I think the hardest day in transformation.
Okay. Would you rather have your children become globally famous entertainers or revolutionary health innovators?
Revolutionary health innovators.
Nice. Should I keep going?
Sure.
Because we're keeping very short answers, which we can get more questions. Would you rather produce an Oscar-winning film with no social impact or a viral documentary that changes lives but wins no awards?
Well, we've already done the latter.
Heck,
Well, actually, it has won awards, our documentary.
51 Best
51
Documentary
Best
Awards
Documentary Awards.
for all of our work. And they were all socially viral, making change. So, but I do want the Oscar.
Yeah.
Can it be
Just like, can we do it? No.
So maybe SHIELD, right? We're designing SHIELD to potentially go and tear up some...
Go after that Oscar too, since we've already accomplished the
not?
second and then some, because you also got awards. So would you rather lose access to all biohacking tools for a year or be unable to produce films for a year?
Be unable to produce films for a year.
Like, health is first. My baby cells. Hey! Would you rather have unlimited funding for philanthropy or unlimited reach for your films?
I think the films themselves are philanthropic. I think unlimited reach for the films because it's not just about philanthropy. It's hard to really measure the impact. The films, you have direct communication to the fan base. You know, like, we can't even keep up with the direct messages that we get from the films and the turnaround stories. Men, like 14 men that I've stopped from committing suicide from watching Fat Lolli to Six Pack Lolli. They literally told me, and there's another documentary that came out from someone that we saved their life and they did a transformation. So it's really impactful, these films.
To have such a purpose in life, oh my gosh, I love it. Would you rather train with an Olympic athlete or a Nobel-winning scientist for your next fitness documentary?
A Nobel Prize. Yeah, scientists. They know so much. The Olympic athletes, very determined. Yes, a lot of grit probably to learn, but we've already done that.
Yeah.
The Nobel Prize scientists, right? Yeah.
Would you rather be known as the transformation icon or the biohacking pioneer?
I like the transformation icon aspect because we are no stretch of the imagination biohacking pioneers. We're a regular group of, we're a regular family.
Selling yourself so short.
You know, regular people dipping into this world, learning.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate because of who we are to have access to top people. And that access we're allowing other people to access.
Yeah.
And we're still learning. We're still learning. We're going to learn more about dentistry. We're going to learn more about working with our
And by the way,
pets.
all of those are transformations. The transformation icon is carrying through all of these journeys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing, yeah. Wow. Would you rather produce a documentary exposing unethical practices in biological dentistry or one that eliminates pet euthanasia through longevity science? Dang.
The pet
Euthanasia, you put the pet to die, you killed the poor
I
animal.
would do that. I'm not about exposés. Like,
Okay.
I'm so, like, we watch these documentaries, I'm like, yeah, what did that do for me?
Yeah.
We
I don't
set up,
like-
we don't do that. Like, that's our thing. You see these documentaries, oh, what about this, what about that, or this, that. But where's the answers? I know the problem. When you're drowning, I don't need you to describe the water. And all these documentaries are just describing the water, what's happening.
Yeah,
how do
like
I-
Earthlings.
How do I save myself?
Have you watched The Earthlings?
No.
It made me become vegan for 6 years after watching that. I was vegan for 6 years. No, I got sick from it. I was very sick, anemic and all that. It took me a long time to get
What
back.
a power, though. What a power that documentary.
But that's the thing, is like, what was the solution? To get me sick?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Would you rather train with a longevity guru or a Hollywood A-list director?
Well, we're already training with longevity gurus, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a Hollywood A-list director.
Oh, that's oh my gosh!
Romania, Armenia.
What's his name? That
Rodriguez?
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
If you're listening, we
I'm-
want to train with you.
Why Robert Rodriguez?
He's an icon. Into filmmaking and movie directing since I was a kid. And he started with nothing. And he worked with a small budget. And he knows how to use every single piece of equipment. And I'm sure you've heard of him. But he's really... you ever seen these musicians that could play every single instrument really, really good and make a beautiful song? That's him.
Oh,
He can
so
do
he's really good.
cinematography, photography, editing, and like he has a whole big studio. He's amazing. So Robert
Rodriguez. Rob, I gotta look into his work.
Yeah, Desperado, a lot of big movies.
Salma Hayek.
Which I don't know why she's not aging.
She's amazing.
She made very, very smart choices in her life. And one time they were asking her at the Oscars or Grammys or whatever she was walking into, they said, "What's the most valuable thing on you?" She said, "My brain."
Was that her that she answered that? Because
Yeah.
I've heard that voice on TikTok a lot.
Yeah.
Her personal life, her selection of husband, everything. You know what I mean?
That's why she's
Everything.
not.
This French dude, right? She's with some French dude now, or some rich.
Really, really cool dude. Very happy relationship.
Oh, really?
You know, I don't know her personally, but we know some people that know her. She's a good human being.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Oh, that's good to hear that. Well, would you rather produce a documentary exposing unethical healthcare practices that save 1,000 lives but require 12 months of nonstop work away from your family, or create a film that revolutionizes wellness for mothers globally but forces you to pause your children's entertainment careers indefinitely?
That. I mean,
Careers.
the second one is what I've done. But I somehow engaged our kids in our documentaries.
Which is
We had to
brilliant.
put a stop to their acting career for a minute because Biohack Yourself took off. So I could not do 5 auditions and tape them and edit them, you know, because after pandemic, we became more hands-on managers of our children. So the audition will come to me in my email. I have to read, I have to learn my part, then I have to keep the engagement so she actually has eye contact and gets into character. We have to practice for like an hour, and then I have to tape it, and I have to edit it, and I have to submit it, plus a headshot, plus a slate, plus this. Then my son is getting booked. So as he's getting booked, this one is an audition. So we had to put a break for that because we had way more important mission with Biohack Yourself and SHEALED. So what we did is actually we brought them into the documentary world. They sat down with some of the biggest experts. They interviewed them. So we further went to disseminate this very intimidating biohacking world and making it very unintimidating and understandable because they were asking the simplest questions. So they're actually building their courses based on their interviews and what they've learned. So it wasn't a pause because somehow we integrated them.
Isn't that what Einstein said? If you can explain it to a 6-year-old, then you really...
Yeah.
So to add a 6-year-old in it...
Yeah. Yeah. See our kids in the opening scenes and what they're learning, and they have their little comments, and you know, like my daughter's like, you know, you got to start biohacking now before you get sickly.
And he said, I want my mom to live 150
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
I'm like, oh.
And then my dog, and then he caught himself, was like, oh. He says, and my dog to live till 100. It's cute to see them care and want. This is going to make such an impact on them and the people. Like, there's kids looking up to them too. They have followers and stuff. So if they're changing any kids' understanding, because kids believe kids.
Yeah.
They follow each other. You do a TikTok dance, this one's going to do it. You do a longevity hack, this one's going to do it.
So they're already, wow. I want to have like, give me one word for the below. So I'm going to go like this. I say a word and you just give me a word back. Whatever word that you think that matches.
Wow.
Biohacking.
Yourself.
Nice. Make America healthy again.
Good people, good movement.
One word. Spaces between
Sorry.
it.
Make America healthy again. Truth.
Wow, nice. Organic.
Test.
Detox.
Cleanse.
Must.
Vaccine.
Depends.
And she's like, I got you on this one. And I got you right there. That was so cute.
Oh gosh. Holistic. Nutrition.
Read.
Fitness.
Longevity.
Sustainability.
Environment.
Supplements.
Educate.
Preventative.
Cheap. Cheaper than cure.
He said it fast. Cheaper than cure.
Yes.
It's one word.
I love it.
This was great.
You
by
guys
the
are
way.
like, really?
Nobody's done this.
But I like how you guys are like, dang, quick. On
Brain
it.
optimization,
Brain
baby.
optimization.
Yes. And maybe a lot of ping pong. Yeah, back home, be like. So to wrap it up, how is there a question you wish I had asked? I made it.
You did.
I actually haven't even gotten through, like, seriously, this whole side.
That's how I do it, by the way. I was moderating the Aries Tech Roundtable, and literally I was trying to ask the questions that I prepped, threw it out.
Yes.
And you're just in the moment.
Well, I was like, I don't want to scatter them because this is so good.
It's just
Story.
fun. Everybody should biohack themselves. That's really our minds. You just really be your own health detective. You're responsible for your own life. There isn't a doctor, there isn't a homeopath or a naturopath or a dentist or anybody that's going to tell you what to do, what's best for you. And similar to business, how, you know, there isn't an accountant that's going to help you run your business. There isn't a marketing person that's going to help you run your business. You got to run your business. And you got to be in the business of really biohacking yourself. That's the business unit.
And your baby cells.
Yeah,
Right,
you're baby.
babies.
I love it. Now it's like I'm looking at my whole life changed. I'm telling
How
you.
many trillion? 40
Yeah, and Bruce Lipton.
trillion babies.
Wow.
Yeah. You have 40 trillion babies. See, you're a mom.
Yeah, now I feel like my life has enriched already. In just 2 hours of talking to you two. Amazing.
But the learning doesn't stop there. You can continue to learn, and we're learning every day. We meet new people, we meet new brands, new practitioners that we're platforming. So, like now, there's biological eye doctors.
Yeah.
Focus on that kind of stuff.
Ophthalmologist.
All sorts of different
Very cool.
approaches. It's just a different approach to, the way people are healing themselves.
I mean, I feel like you just need to understand the evolution is happening. And every longevity expert is saying if you stay alive for the next 5 years, you're going to witness some magical things that are going to happen for the human potential. If you're not optimizing today, you're already lacking competitive advantage to even make it, even in the workspaces, right? There's AI, there's Tesla robots, there's everything that's going to take away from your productivity. You got to sharpen up. This is the time. We're still ahead of the curve. Like, let's sharpen up, let's be ahead of the curve, and let's see what's happening in a very alert, sharp, and healthy way.
Amazing. I agree. Because if you're not doing that to yourself and for yourself.
Yeah.
And this is a stupid question. Where can people find you, or what's your preferred way to?
Well, we're mostly everywhere on the internet.
Because that's why I'm like, it's kind of stupid. Because I just got to put the name.
Biohack Yourself Media is the Instagram handle.
Okay.
That is
Where you wanna be.
getting all our personal Instagrams are Anthony Lolli, ANTHONY LOLLI, TereZa Lolli,
TereZa.
AZA. We're very open. We
And
post a lot of
has
shield
its
doc,
own-
and biohackyourself.com, the website.
Yeah.
You can go to lollibrands.com to see our up and coming documentaries. We post mainly production work. It's really like if you're a videographer, a photographer, or someone like looking to learn how to make documentaries, we're very open. We have a whole behind the scenes
nice.
thing. Where we teach you, we highlight, who the gaffer is and who the sound guy is. And we have a whole dedicated behind the scenes crew that really just films even the actors on set and the people that we have on the documentary and how they got there and what it's like, the makeup room. Like, we really go
That's
deep
nice.
into behind.
We're so excited. We didn't sit through filmmaking college for us to make it become like not exciting, right? It's, when you're a professional filmmaker, these things are not exciting to you. On the other hand, so what are you doing? What was that thing you just did?
Yeah.
That pom-pom, what's that for? So
Dang.
we asked and then we film everything because what if someone else watching us wants to start making their own movie?
Which is me. I would love
I
to
think you're
run a
right.
documentary.
If you follow our behind the scenes, it's like
I
a
will.
master class.
I will.
It's literally just teaching you everything.
But you're directing the stuff?
we're
So
directing
you
and
are
starring
behind the
everything.
camera.
Executive producing
Okay.
everything. We're directing the vision and the cuts, right?
Okay.
But yes, we hire DPs, director of photography.
Okay, so you have the cameraman and all these other
to implement our vision.
It's usually
into-
40, 50 people on set. Our productions are several $1 million productions.
Yeah, by the way, we've employed close to 300 people through the last 2 years, through all of our events and productions. 300 people, we've put food on their tables consistently with consistent work.
Nice.
Our event
So-
business is incredible. Like, we will have like 70 people running around covering the Oscars of longevity or the MAHA Bowl. We did 2 magical events that shifted the course of longevity and the MAHA movement. And then, we employed incredible people.
So helping the economy too, not just changing.
You know what's interesting? Everyone that was on the set of Biohack and SHEALED, they've all reported back
That's
to
so
us
true.
like, I'm working with this person from the documentary, or this person helped me.
all
She's
I didn't know
connected.
that started their whole life. Oh, I helped my mother, or like, it's amazing just the impact it had just with our inner circle.
Even the guy that scores some of our movies, he's out of France, so he's never really met us in person, but he's incredibly talented. His mom was going through cancer, and he got hooked up by one of our doctors. So
Wow.
everybody that comes in touch with us,
They get
they're
some
totally transforming and starting their journeys.
Yeah, I can already tell. And I'm going to bother you with a contact for my friend's for doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, you guys. Just doing so much good left and right. Like,
If we have the opportunity, why not do good?
yeah. And so for this, is there anybody that would be qualified? If, say, what would qualify somebody to be in this, either an actor in your documentaries or maybe even be the story?
That's a great question.
We get a lot of submissions. They
Okay.
can always submit. I mean, what's the best email to submit to?
Well, they can always email me directly,
Yeah.
TereZa at lollibrands.com, or even on social. If they message us, message him directly or DM me, our team will flag it for us, like interested in being cast in your dental documentary. So for that, you either have to be an amazing biological dentist, respectable, that you would maybe do something that we would film, an undoing of something that, you know, the traditional dentist did, so we can really show what's the difference, or you need to be owning a company with a product that most biological dentists are using to transform the dental
And when you get
environment.
cast in our films, it's very difficult because it's not only us and our board, but it's the other cast members. So everybody is like, they either want to be associated with you or not. So if you
Like,
make
yeah,
it
yeah.
to one of our films, it's because everybody like was
That,
like,
yeah,
they're
that we're
like,
using them. And in the dental world, they're very, cutthroat. There's an implant company, let's say, right?
Yeah.
You can't just come in and get cast in Buy Old Dentistry because the title is Buy Old Dentistry. So you can't just get cast if majority of the respected dentists who are going to show us the procedures are not using your implants. They're all using the new upgraded biological
Right.
the biological dentists, not only are they the top in their field, world-renowned speakers, practitioners, they own very successful practices. They work with top celebrities. Like one of Dr. Jerry Caratola, Fran Drescher, is one of his clients.
president of SAG.
President of SAG-AFTRA. You know, she played the nanny and all that. And
Dang.
Yeah.
so, and other very, very well-known athletes and soccer stars.
They know.
But they're also, they have certification courses too. So you have to actually, in order to even work in their practice or use any of their, you have to pass their course. So it's very rigorous.
Nice.
Just to be in their field with them, to be in a documentary with them, it's like you have to really be the top. Or if a product has to be in the documentary, it has to be a product that everybody's in alliance with.
Yeah.
It's a very rigorous thing. This is somebody's mouth. Like, this is a big deal. So,
Close to the brain.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically whoever makes it in this documentary, it elevates the game for them because that's like reputation, money.
Exactly.
This is a different documentary than our other ones because it's following the family journey again with the commercial, appeal of the general public, understanding all of our stories. But then we're filming simultaneously behind the scenes footage, which is really meant to help communicate to existing dentists why they should convert to biological dentistry. That's the other thing. So it's going to be a lot of technical talk, and it's also talking to the next student that's getting ready to graduate to become a dentist. So there's a B2B aspect of the documentary that's being filmed simultaneously. So as they're doing the procedures, there is a secondary version that's like, I'm using the tool number XYZ and this.
It's like
because of the
training.
efficacy.
It's training.
So it's a training
Literally
video.
a master class.
So it's a master class.
Yeah.
So it's the first of its kind medical documentary that it's like a music album with two sides.
That's pretty neat.
So that's what this is. It's really what it's doing is one for the general public to really understand and make choices to take their dental work to a biological dentist, and the other is for the practices.
And I'm assuming it's not going to be free because this is a lot of.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's free to the
free on
general
Amazon?
public.
Wow.
We always release it on Tubi. Tubi is free.
Tubi's free.
Wow.
Select free as well.
Documentaries are like $2.99.
Awesome.
Dang.
Yeah, like a Hollywood movie that I buy for my kids are $24.99 always, so or 19 something. Our docs, make sure that they're
Where is actual knowledge? Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
I'd make it at least $20. I mean, hey,
as our market.
let's be honest.
Charge them.
And then we
Yeah,
have
it's just $20 to one coffee.
on Tubi, on Plex, free platforms.
Wow, dang. Wow, you guys. Well, I'm impressed, and I hope that I'm gonna get to see you guys again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been
Whenever
such
you're
a
in Florida,
pleasure.
let us know, and whenever we're back here.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved it. Yeah,
This is
has
great
been-
questions.
Yeah, very
Thank
good. By the way,
you.
we've been on so many, incredible podcasts, but this was very unique experience.
Very unique.
Thank you. For me too. I loved it. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
It's almost like we were being interviewed that Sophia Loren had a baby with Melania Trump.
Oh, snap. Hi. Hi.
A bit of both.
Really? Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Sophia. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
This was awesome.
Oh my gosh, your wife is beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.